Hi Gemini, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. With me, my name's Carol, and this is your April mid-month reading for 2024. And so Gemini, today we're going to be doing the Yellow Cardinal Cross. And in position 1, I'm going to look at what situation you're sitting in right now. If it's a struggle, a decision you have to make, pattern that's showing up even. And then I'm going to pull out a clarifier or a card that's kind of obscuring that issue that you're sitting in for number 2. And then number 3 position is what you're consciously aware of regarding this situation that you're sitting in right now. So if I had to ask you, you'd tell me, what's going on. Number 4 is the interesting one, where that is what's coming up from your unconscious that's impacting this situation you're sitting in that you're not aware of, because we're not aware of what's coming up in our unconscious, right? And it's what's hidden in our shadow. So we're going to be doing a little bit of shadow work for number 4. Now, if you're not familiar with shadow work or the term shadow, I've left a video in my description box below, and I did that video a while back just to help you with how to do shadow work. So it's a great video to help you get started, or if you've been doing it for a bit, you might want to have a look at it to see how I do shadow work. And then in position number 5, we're going to be looking at what's needed for resolution here. And then in number 6, we're going to look at what is the understanding, maybe what's some guidance from the tarot, or what's the kind of the tarot's final words on this. What's the resolution, the understanding about this whole situation that you're in right now, and then you're needing some guidance with. And so I'm going to be using the Light Seer's Tarot for this. I'm also going to be clarifying with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, and I'm going to be pulling an oracle card from the Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle at the end to help us out here. So let's start off, Gemini, with the issue at hand, the situation you're sitting in. Almost fell out. Pattern that's coming up for you right now, mid-month April, and we have the Queen of Wands as our first card. What's clarifying or obscuring the Queen of Wands here? We have the Chariot card in reverse. The Chariot card in reverse. No, I'm just going to put that right there to show that it's in reverse. What are you consciously aware of? The King of Swords is what you're consciously aware of. What's coming up in your shadow? What's coming up in your shadow? That obviously is impacting this situation and you're not aware of it. Gotta wet my fingers sometimes. These cards get really dry. Okay, what's coming up in your shadow? There we go. The Moon card in reverse. What is needed for resolution for you? The Two of Wands. The Two of Wands. And finally, what is the oh, this one's turned over as well. I'm just going to put it back here. Is it? Oh no, I thought I saw one turned over. What's needed for resolution here? Two of Pentacles. 2 twos. Beginnings. Near the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to clarify that with this Radiant Rider-Waite deck here, and then we'll pull our oracle. So what are you sitting in right now, Gemini? Well, you're sitting in a Queen of Wands energy, and what does that mean? Well, my queens in my deck are the feminine part of us. We all have a feminine part and a masculine part. A lot of us don't want to admit that, or a lot of us maybe don't know that, but we all do. It doesn't matter what gender you are. You have feminine qualities and male qualities. And here you have the Queen of Wands. And so you're being asked to take on this Queen of Wands, which is the queen, the feminine side of us that is very very in touch with her body, very much lives in her body. And the Wands is all about, living her purpose. Very, very creative energy. The Wands are very fiery energy. And the Wands are always wanting to create something. They're always moving. And that's why the Wands, there's sometimes a lot of conflict in it. So there's a part of you here that is really wanting to, I'm seeing part of you coming out that really wants to, take your life in maybe a new direction, wants to follow your purpose, wants to do something different, wants to be creative. And that could, creativity means, so much to so many people. It's just doing something different for yourself. And so there's that part. And then it's interesting because the Chariot card comes in reverse after that card, after the Queen of Wands. Now the Chariot card to me is like, you have this charioteer that is, moving these horses right here, not with reins. He's not even attached to them. Looks like there's these invisible reins here. I don't know whose mind they're invisible, maybe his mind, but there's nothing attaching his chariot to these two horses, and they can go into separate directions. If any one of them at any particular time went in a different direction, what would happen here? And so this card to me says we can, because this is all about taking your life into a different direction. I'm seeing, going somewhere different here, being creative. Well, we can do that only so far as our will can take us. Because when we follow our ego, and let's be honest here, most of us do live up in our head and live in our ego, and your ego can only take you so far. And if you want to take that further, and I'm seeing that's where you're stuck here, your ego has gone, boo, okay, you're kind of stuck here. And that's what I'm saying here. Like you're wanting to go in a certain direction, but you're feeling, boom, I'm stuck. Like the chariot has stopped here, because you have to realize that your ego can only take you so far. And for you to go in a different direction, your power, you need to get in touch with this creative force that's out there, universal force if you want, this creator force, and a lot of it is just going inwards and finding that we have this inside of us. If we go inwards and finding that we have this inside of us, but too many of us follow our ego and staying up in our heads rather than going back into our bodies, which the Queen of Wands wants you to do, is go back in your body so that you can find this new direction that you want to take your life in. Is really, it is beautiful. What this message that's giving you right here. Now, what are you aware of? Here's your king. The king in my deck, the queen is the feminine side of us and the king is the masculine. There's your ego. You are aware that your ego is, and that swords is all about your authenticity. The swords is all about your truth. So you are quite aware, and swords is all about your mental awareness. And so you are quite aware of that, your ego here has told you. I want to grab a card here before I go on, because your ego is out here, and so another king comes out. Ooh, the Page of Swords comes out, and then you have another one that fell right behind it, which was the King of Wands this time. All right, so the fact that there's two kings have come out here, you're consciously aware. Well, your ego is definitely driving the chariot here, for sure. And there's a page here. There's a page here. Your inner child, which is your inner child, are the pages in my deck. I should say my pages are your inner children or your inner child. And this particular page needs healing. And this particular page is all about authenticity, and it knows who you really are. And so your truth, who you really are, is surrounded by two kings, two ego, which tells me that what you believe about yourself is what you hear in your head. And that's your ego. That's what that tells me. And that's why that queen has come out, because I'm going to see that there's a real kind of drive here to go. If you want to take your life in a new direction, you have to get out of your head, because that's where all your belief systems are, and they're not about yourself, and they're not true, right? And so what's coming up from the unconscious here for you to heal, right? Because if you're wanting to take your life in this new direction, what I found in my own healing journey, that is whenever I wanted to go in a different direction in my life, I wanted to do something different for myself, I had to do more healing. I had to get in touch more. I had to go back in my body and get in touch with my inner children and my emotions, and work on some more healing before I could kind of like level up, because there was something that was blocking it. And so maybe you're sitting here with, I mean, the Chariot card did come in reverse here. So I'm seeing that, you know, there is a block here. You are blocked. And the Moon card comes up in your unconscious here, and it's in reverse. And the Moon card are about all those things we don't see. And it's interesting it comes in your unconscious here, but it really is your intuition. The Moon card is all about your intuition. And a lot of people aren't aware that they have intuition. They don't even know what it is. Intuition is your inner guidance. It's those little whispers that you hear that tell you to do something. But if your ego is in charge and you're living up in your head, it'll block your intuition. And that's why this card is coming up here, because your intuition is blocked. And there's something here, I'm going to pull a card or two here, in your shadow that needs to be healed in order to get to your intuition. So let's see what, because a lot of times we don't hear it because it's blocked. The Six of Wands comes up behind it. And the Six of Wands is a card about, well, it's a six. And all my sixes have a duality aspect to it, like a winning, losing, giving, receiving. In this particular case, this person has won something. He's coming back from a battle. He's got a victory wreath on top. And he's sitting on this horse with this green blanket. And, you know, like I said, there's a duality to this card. So it looks on the outside like he's won something. But if you pulled the green blanket off of the horse, it'll expose the opposite of winning, which is losing. And so for me, when this card comes up, it tells me that, what if you lost? Like there's something that you've lost in that's sitting in your shadow. And when this card comes up, it means there's some grieving that needs to be done. Because let's face it, we have a lot of loss from our childhood and our adolescence. And, you know, when it sits in our childhood, it sits in our unconscious. Because you're blocked here, your intuition is blocked. And when we want to take our life in a new direction, when our ego is in charge and we're trying to find out which way to go next, we really need to get in touch with and try to listen to our intuition. That is our inner guidance. But if you have more emotions here, such as grief, let's take one more card here for your shadow. Yeah. There's a Seven of Wands here, and that's in reverse. Seven of Wands is a card of not feeling validated, not feeling supportive on your journey. You know, you're all alone here. And so this is coming from your shadow. And so I'm seeing here that this too is really, really blocked and it needs healing, because I'm seeing that there's a part of your childhood. It could also mean that, you know, there's some real abandonment issues here. Because if this is a card of not feeling supported and not feeling validated when you were younger and feeling very, very much alone, this can come out, especially when it's sitting in your shadow, this can come out as feeling with abandonment issues when you were younger, not feeling validated, not feeling supported. And that explains why there's grief here that needs to be felt, that's hidden underneath that green blanket because of this abandonment, because of not feeling validated and supported when you're younger. So in order to go into that new direction you want to go, and I'm going to repeat it again, you need to get back into your body and start to heal. Start to heal that younger part of you, that child that you know, was not supported, was not validated, was abandoned when they were younger. And then this can turn around. Then you can get in touch with your inner guidance, and that's your intuition, and that's going to tell you how to get to where you want to go, you know. And the beautiful thing is, and I can see it, and I don't make this stuff up, but what's needed for resolution, well, the Two of Wands. Like I said, the Wands is that fiery energy, and it's the number 2, so it's the beginning. It's the beginning. It's when you get that little nudge, that idea in your head that says, I want to do something, you know. She's got this World card here, and she's looking out with her wand, and she's like, where can I take this wand? Where can I take this wand? You know, my world here is so small, but I know there's something big out there for me. And when you heal that part of you, that grief from your abandonment, from your lack of support, and start to get in touch with those emotions, you're going to start to hear the whispers from the universe. I want another card for that Two of Wands right there. And the whispers from the universe are our intuition. And the King of Swords, right? That's the ego card. The King of Swords is the ego card again in reverse. And be careful, because, you know, what's going to happen is you'll start to hear those little whispers. But that king will come out again, that masculine ego part of us, with his sword. You know, he's got the sword of truth and authenticity, and our ego's going to come at us, and it's going to go, this is bullshit. You know, you with your little whispers, these intuitive whispers right here. Well, here I am with telling you that it's bullshit. So it's saying that, you know, and you got your king, like 2 or 3 of them here, and you have your queens. And so I'm seeing, you know, there's a real creative, intuitive side of you that's wanting to be birthed, to bring your life in a new direction. But you got that king that's coming in all the time and going, your ego, it's coming in and coming out, this is bullshit, you know, don't feel your emotions, there's no such thing as following your passion. You know, that's what the ego does to us all the time. So be very careful. At every step of the way, your ego's going to try to come back and keep on telling you, oh, this is bullshit, you know, all the time. It happens all the time. But you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of that. What is the resolution here for you? You know, what's the understanding? The Two of Pentacles. Well, the Two of Pentacles is that juggler, right? And you have this kind of this 8 formation, this limitless, this lemniscate, this sign of eternity here. There's so many possibilities out there for you. Once you can get in touch with that intuitive side, that feminine side of yourself, and you're going to find that there's so many possibilities out there for you. I'm going to pull one more card here. And the Queen of Pentacles comes up, you know, and it just keeps reminding you to, when that happens, you know, stay in touch with your body. keep grounding, keep in your body, because your ego will try to keep stopping you, preventing you from what you're doing. And the Hierophant is the last card that came out with this one. And the Hierophant is all about, what other people told you. What other people told you, your sense of obedience and what's right and what's wrong. And, that will come up too. You'll find that there different things will come into play here and try to block you from going the way. But just, keep going. Follow the path. Remember just to keep going, grounding, go back in your body and just listen to your intuition. Listen to those whispers that want to come out. And beware that what the ego spins in your head. And the ego will spin things from the Hierophant that says, you're not allowed to do that. Why are you doing that? That's not going to bring you money or creativity. What's that? What do you mean follow your passion? Like all those things that you've heard growing up and what's right and what's wrong, what you shouldn't do. That's going to come up too. So, and that's part of your head spinning that, you got to keep on going back into your body and just to keep in touch with that feminine aspect of you, that feminine part of you, that intuition that will whisper quietly what you're supposed to do next. Woo! Okay, so let's pick one card for Gemini, the Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle for you. What do they have for you? Usually one pops out sooner than that. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's two here. I only want one. Okay. The Peacemaker, persistent patience, is in reverse. Interesting. I'll show you that one right here. Okay, so this is, and it's interesting because this oracle deck actually gives you the reversed meaning as well. So I'll read you what it says, and then I'll tell you what it says in the reversed. The Peacemaker. Don't force anything. You made it. Consider this as a hug and a reminder. It's all working out for you, but just take it easy. This isn't a moment of healing. This is a moment of healing, harmony, and alchemy. Just avoid extremes and go with the flow. Everything in moderation. You are creating something new. Remain flexible, beautiful. You are stronger than you think. So the shadow aspect of this is what you got. And it said you are too attached to a specific situation, a person, or an event. You are doing way too much. Distance yourself with grace. There is instability in your energetic vibration, right? Sometimes when you're too attached to somebody, like it says, like, I think it really wants you to kind of almost pull back, and that's how you get still and go inwards, and so you can get in touch with those emotions you need to heal, so that you can hear your intuition. Nice reading for you, Gemini. Take care, and I'll link my April reading for you at the end, and I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.